Hi, I'm Kristin Davis, and I want to know, are you a Charlotte? So let's talk about themes overall for a second, because when we first started talking about this podcast and you were like, yes, thank God. So that empowered me to move forward. One of the things we talked about were the themes and the everlasting quality of the themes. And so this is our third or fourth, whatever it is. And last week, the pilot episode has ghosting and can women have sex like men? No one cares about can women have sex like men, which is super interesting.
But
I care about it.
At that point,
right?
It was unspoken.
Totally. I thought it was a very big deal. I still think it's a big deal.
It's still a big deal.
Right?
I mean, it's still a big deal. I mean, and we went on to illustrate that to great comic effect. But it is a very big deal. Can women have sex like men?
But I do feel like society has progressed somewhat, like the youngsters.
No, we already talked about it.
Oh.
It's already off the table because we proved over many years that thesis.
Okay.
So it's not a shock.
Got it.
It's not like they feel okay if women have sex like men, but they do. Yes, they can. Because of Sex in the City, they can have sex like men.
But then the ghosting thing, everybody was like, ghosting. So like the talk shows picked up that we talked about ghosting, though we didn't have the word ghosting, but like that Sarah Winter character, you know, they're also picking out China, buying apartments, whatever they're doing, and then he's just gone.
Yeah.
They talked about that on the talk shows. And I was so fascinated by the fact that our pilot episode theme, one of them, is now 30 years later being picked up again to be discussed on the talk shows in the morning. Yes.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. So to you, if you think about, because there've been obviously so many episodes and our films and just like that, you know, what are the biggest themes for you? What do you feel the strongest about? Are there any that you regret?
I think the first thing that came into my mind that I think is evergreen is, am I enough? Am I enough alone? Whatever that means. Whatever that means, am I enough? I think, am I enough is something people are always asking because of the way we get sort of dragged up in society, where we're not all completely perfect ever.
Yep.
So am I enough is really important. If you look at any episode, it's this very big struggle of people trying to be there for themselves. When they're strong, they're there for other people. When they're vulnerable, their friends are there for them. But it's constantly letting the anarchy of saying single people are enough. Being single is enough. That is still not done. Society is still
insane.
It's almost reversing now. But the idea that I might not be enough if I don't have someone in my life is the evergreen wound and gift of the series. And then also, am I right to do things my way?
Ooh.
I mean, Charlotte's great struggle through the whole series was she had to rebel against society's versions of her life. It started out, what she wanted was so different than what she finally accepted, right to the point of, you know, we put that whole, it was all, I mean, we did that with all the characters, but with Charlotte, it was clear, like, oh, be careful what you wish for.
Definitely.
I mean, and the reason Charlotte got married, that was kind of shocking, because it was supposed to be, by then the show was the branded for single girls.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, no, she'd get married. So we have
I mean, that was what she wanted.
Well, that's what a person would do.
Right.
So let's do that.
Right.
And then how do we torture her?
And you did.
And we did. But the fact of the matter is, we didn't pretend for 7 seasons that she could never find anyone, because it was
that
you.
Would be crazy.
It was you.
You're so sweet.
Who anybody would marry. And 2, it was a challenge to have one of the single people get married.
Yeah.
And then what does that mean, and how does it affect the relationship? So I guess the idea is, you know, is it okay to be just you?
Right. And what about like chosen family?
Yeah, I mean, I wrote it. It's this thing that I see people clipping a lot of. Maybe we can be each other's soulmates.
Yep.
And just let the guys be these cute, fun guys to have fun with.
Yep.
I mean, the importance of that is it lets all the guys off the hook.
No.
You know, like,
I never thought about that.
Yeah, the guys are off the hook.
Yeah.
And, that whole idea that you don't necessarily get everything you need from a partner.
Which is so important to say because it's not how we're socialized.
No, we're not. We're socialized that you're like, like
the person, the one.
person who wants to be
who will fulfill me.
No, I mean, as you grow, you go like, oh, I get laughs from that person.
Totally.
I get sex from that person.
Right.
I get sometimes
Comfort.
Laughs and sex.
Sure.
But I get
That's a
my
good
friends
combo.
give me. It is a good combo. My friends give me things that my partner can't.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's just, that's that soulmate thing is really not that we could be each other's soulmates.
Right.
That's thrilling because you've got it covered because you're only supposed to get, that episode is special because it's all about rejecting the idea of one person.
Right.
For each person.
Right. And it's funny that I say the line.
Sure, of course.
It's great. It's
and
so
then, of
great.
course, you're the one who gets not that.
Right. It's not, which had to be the way.
But I love in that episode how she sort of bends her own rules when she's talking about Carrie, like, well, you kind of this and then had thing. And
I mean, there's a lot of bending of the rules over time too. For
in
everyone.
life.
Right. Absolutely. And I want to talk to you about Carrie a little bit because I'm going to have Sarah on soon. And I'm so scared because, there's this like thing about Carrie now, many years later, 30, whatever, 27 years later, where they're like, oh, Carrie's this, Carrie's that. I don't like Carrie, no. There's things out there. Michael's not on social media, you guys. So
yeah,
we love that about him. But
that's why my head's still attached.
100%.
Because it hasn't blown off.
You're protecting
after
yourself.
After the first season of And Just Like That, I'm like, oh, really? Okay.
A great attitude. And for me, I look at it like in a vague way.
By the way, wrong.
What?
The first reaction to the first season of And Just Like That. By the way, wrong.
Right. Their reaction.
The craziness of it. But I think that's also expectations of how these people grew and didn't grow. Anyway, go ahead.
No, you're
SJ,
100% right. So Sarah, of course, none of us can be objective about our characters at this point. I mean, were we ever? I have no idea, right? But there used to be a little bit, and now there's none. Like you've been around on the set where you said, I don't even know. I'm going to have Cynthia on season 2, but do you remember that time you were like, so-and-so?
I don't know, but I've rarely seen you have your breath taken away by what you're going to or not going to say as your editor shows up.
I know, right?
What are you going to say?
So
this isn't going to go well for me.
No, it's totally good for you.
I sense that this is going to be charming for somebody, but not me. Go ahead.
No, it's going to be great. It's going to be hard for them because I've got to figure out what I'm going to say to them because no one's objective is my main point, right? Like I'm not, people in the beginning would say like, how are you like Charlotte? How are you not? And I could be like, like Charlotte, not. 27 years later, I don't know. I mean, it's a lot.
You know what people say about you 27 years later?
What?
Oh my God, Charlotte's so amazing.
Aw.
And it's because I think the kids and the strength of it and the sort of what kids do to your character.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we were able to really have Charlotte and Just Like That be the one who is the mother of everybody. And that's why people are feeling that about Charlotte is because she is the mother to her own children, but also sometimes the mother to her friend group. And by mother, I mean tough love sometimes and most times listening and supportive.
Which is amazing. But I also feel the part of what they're responding to is the fact if you followed us the whole time, which so many people have, which is so amazing.
And now again, because of Netflix.
Yeah. Yes. It's the whole new group. Like the growth is a very, I can't think off the top of my head of any other person, actor who has gotten to have this. I mean, obviously the 4 of us and or 3 of us have, a very, very long time,
thrilling.
Which is insane and such a gift. But if you just think about Charlotte's beginning and where we're at now.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's just not happening out there in the world for anybody else. So I am the luckiest person, and that's because of you. And that's what people respond to.
Okay, so tell me about the Cynthia thing.
Got it. So
Where I'm an
Both
asshole,
Sarah
apparently,
and
I
Cynthia.
think.
No, you're not.
Okay. Oh, great. Then
No,
really,
not at
then
all.
do tell me.
Definitely. No, you're not
Okay.
on the hook for any of this.
Oh, really?
No.
That's what you think. Watch what I can do with it.
You're definitely not. No, this is about people. So this is my perspective on it, and I want yours. So I think people way back in the beginning, they'd be like, am I a Carrie? Am I a Charlotte? Am I a Miranda? Whatever it was, right? And they'd have their own idea of themselves within what we were showing. And they would then own that. Oh, I'm a Carrie, right? Then Carrie might do something that maybe
Well, the hero has the affair.
Exactly.
Bad.
And this had to happen, right? Because why would you keep watching if
You
the
wouldn't.
hero was perfect?
Right.
You would not.
You would not.
We would not still be
No
working.
longer be human.
Exactly. It wouldn't be compelling. It wouldn't be interesting. Absolutely. I agree 100%. But
And the trick
Yeah.
is they would hate what she did, but still love her because of Sarah Jessica's amazing essence and quality
what
as
she
an
brings.
actor.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was tricky. We got them hooked because they were furious
yes.
when she would do things, but still they felt betrayed because they love her so much.
Yes.
Because of what Sarah Jessica does with that character.
Well, I think that's still happening.
Yeah.
So there's still people who are like, Carrie, Carrie's the worst.
Because of what she did to Aiden.
Or whatever different thing it is that week, right?
mostly
Do you know what I
that.
mean? I mean, different things.
How dare her wear a slip to get coffee?
Totally. Stuff like that.
Nobody would ever wear a crinoline slip to get coffee.
Exactly.
That's right. They wouldn't. That's why we did.
Totally.
Yeah.
So it's just different. They'll hook on different things, but there's like a sentiment that happened. I think it started, I don't really know, but I think it started when we weren't working, right? Like in between the movies and just like that, where people would rewatch or whatever, and they'd be like, well, I'm looking at Carrie differently now, right? Mm-hmm. Which is the joy also of the characters, and that like you look at them at different times in your life and you think different things or feel
Depending on
different
who
things.
you are.
Absolutely.
Are you a Carrie now? Are you a Charlotte? Are you a Miranda? Are you Samantha?
Exactly. And you can be any at any given time. And
In
we
your
have
20s,
no
you
judgment.
could be Samantha.
Yes.
In your 50s, you could be Samantha.
That was good. That was so good. I sometimes I'm like, I should try to be Samantha. So anyway.
You're Samantha. you have a Samantha in you. Trust me.
A little bit.
Sure.
Ooh. Anyway, both. So, and then, okay, so for Carrie, this kind of sentiment started. Sarah Jessica was like, when we went back for, I'm not supposed to say like, my fans don't like it. Good luck.
I've only heard about 5 likes.
Oh, thank God.
You've
that's
really
not
policed
so bad.
yourself.
I've really tried.
That's because you're talking to somebody.
That's so right. When I'm by myself, it's very hard.
Well, like is a landing pad.
He's the writer. Listen to him, you guys. It's a landing pad. Thank you.
So that she can get her next thought. It's really hard to talk to yourself.
It's very hard to
unless
talk to yourself.
Unless you're psychotic.
Thank you.
Which you're not.
Thank you. He needs to be here every episode.
Go ahead.
So in the interim, before we
That's
came
why I need
back,
to be here to say, okay, go ahead. Go.
Totally.
Say it. Get back to it.
In the interim of not working, right before we did, and just like that, Sarah Jessica was saying to me, what is this thing where people don't like Carrie? And I was like, oh, just don't worry about that. She's like, but how could they not like Carrie? And I'm like, I just think it's over time and people, get attached to things.
Again, another reason to not be on social media. Go ahead.
It's true. So, and I don't think she was looking. It's just kind of grew and she saw it, and then of course she takes it personally because how can you not, right?
Sure.
You play Carrie,
I take it personally.
You're right.
In terms of Carrie.
Of course.
What are you, crazy?
You are Carrie. Totally. In a lot of ways, he is, you guys. You're all of us, really. But I think you're really Carrie. But she I had to kind of like, don't worry. So then Megan Thee Stallion has a lot of opinions.
the great Megan Thee Stallion
exactly,
stuff. Yeah, that was
exactly.
Great.
I know. We're going to have her on the episode.
Oh, how fantastic. The idea that happened.
Right?
Like, she just discovered it for the first time, which made it, and all I kept thinking was, now everybody's going to discover it again.
I know, it's the joy.
So she had a problem.
Yes, she had a lot to say about Carrie. Mm-hmm. She was like, she wakes up every morning and thinks, how can I ruin everyone's day? So I've got to prepare myself. Oh God, I hope Sarah Jessica doesn't get mad at me.
Very, very, very strong point of view.
It is.
Almost unfounded in any reality. But I
Don't
love
listen
it.
to this, Megan. Okay, don't listen.
No, I mean, I love that it's a strong take.
It is a strong take. And then
really
she
strong
basically
take.
says that she's Carrie.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's self-hate.
It's interesting. And it's I don't know if it's also like she's very funny, Megan. Like, who knew?
Yeah, she's funny.
Yeah. So I don't know if she's being funny. We'll find out when she's on because I'm going to drill
look,
down.
The reality is the great thing about a series, if it's working,
right,
is that you love and hate decisions people make every episode.
Right.
Which is why you keep watching.
Right.
Oh, the second year of, and just like that, the Miranda, to get back to Cynthia, the Miranda fallout about choices is really what that was about.
Right.
Choices. People love to discuss when they're on, when they're off.
Right.
Why are they behaving like that?
Right.
Like your friends, like anyone.
Definitely. Cynthia, obviously very, very connected to Miranda, though, she also, she's very like, oh, I don't care. Oh. But then if anyone says anything negative, she's like, why are they still hung up on that? Do you remember this when we were on set the other day? It was not that long ago. And we were like, oh, did you? And she was like, no, I don't understand. How do they not understand? And we're like, it's okay. It's okay. Let them have their thoughts and feelings.
Yeah. They'll be thrilled. It's all about this giant evolution that these four characters are taking. And I think what's so positive for people about Charlotte is they feel she's aligned. She's kind of like,
True.
She's kind of in a place of alignment with who they hoped and wished she would be.
So true.
And so important.
I'm happy that I can be that for them.
So important, especially if you're killing somebody's love and destroying a marriage, that someone is aligned.
Right.
It keeps it grounded.
Thank God.
The interesting thing about Are You a Charlotte? Are You a Miranda? Are You Carrie? There was when we were in the height, the madness of the success of the pop culture-ness of the series, there was a British psychologist who taught a class, I think at Oxford, I might be highfalutin it, but definitely a university in England. And in order to get into her psychology class, you had to say which of the four Sex and the City ladies you were.
I love it.
And that somehow defined her understanding of your personality so that she could go deeper. Also, they used to do those giant polls. Which one are you?
Right. Like
and
the BuzzFeed.
It would be like, Miranda, 9%. And I would be like, bullshit. That's total bullshit. Every smart, funny woman I know has a Miranda.
Definitely.
And they just don't want to own it.
Definitely.
And then years later, that, every outfit on Sex and the City became the champion of Miranda.
Right. We should all be Mirandas.
Yeah. Only for us to destroy it. And just like that.
I know. And then they got very upset with us.
But the reality is, I think that there's aspects to all these characters that people find more compelling than less. But still, you can't have the compelling without the opposite choice.
Absolutely.
Don't marry that man, Charlotte.
Right,
he can't get hard.
Yeah, that was a really bad thing where that just goes to show how, she had that eye on the prize that we talked about for 3 years before we got there, right? And she was going to get it, which I do think people do.
I think the genesis of that wanting something is in Bay of Married Pigs.
Yeah.
Her, she's even going to date this guy. Not her typical type.
I know, and she doesn't even say she likes him.
No,
it's
so great and so flawed.
Yes.
And then you have the other great things in that episode is Samantha literally laughing about the fact that they think we're whores.
I know.
Miranda being furious that she's being typecast as a loser by married people. Charlotte defending married people. And Carrie, of course, watching it all.
Right.
But what's interesting is the married people are not nice.
No, they're not.
They're not. They're self-protective.
Yes.
Entitled.
Yes.
Monstrous.
Yeah.
When that woman comes into the kitchen when Samantha's just having a business conversation.
Oh, I've been there so many times.
Have you?
Yes. Are you surprised?
No. I mean, just somebody says like, why are you talking to her?
I know, like, back off, lady. And you're like, I'm just standing here. I'm literally just standing here.
I mean, and Samantha, for one of the few times ever, is talking about finances.
100%.
She's a businesswoman talking
about money.
About money. And the guy, and he's having a perfectly, who knows what his agenda is.
He definitely has an agenda in his mind.
But she's just talking about money in a low-cut dress.
Right.
And the wife has had it.
I know. Oh, my God. I really felt that scene deeply.
It was kind of daring to cast married people as cartoon villains.
I agree.
As compared to the lecherous single ladies as the cartoon villains.
I know, but I mean, this is still really very happening in our society, you know?
Well, the great thing about it is we got to show the pain caused.
Yeah.
The pain caused.
Yes.
Which no one was showing the pain caused.
No.
If you were not married, you were a loser or a whore. And this is like real people. And what's so great about Charlotte is, as though people think of Charlotte as naive,
right?
Where you are very similar to Charlotte is. Charlotte walked into that room and clocked it 100% accurately. She looked around, she saw the people. Oh my God, this is a thing. He wants to marry you. They're not going to be nice to us. She knew exactly what the social vibe in that room was from her own feelings.
That's so true. That's so true. And I do have that. I definitely have that. And I never think about that with her. And I think that's totally true. And
especially early. She was she was kind of definitively clear.
So true.
About who people are in relation to being married or not.
Because she's like finely tuned to it, because it's clearly been put in her as this goal, and that's her journey, right? Is to go on this journey of, that's my goal. I'm going to give these 3 best friends who really don't share this goal, I'm going to speak at them and lecture at them.
Well, yeah, all the conflict between, whenever we did an episode between Charlotte and Samantha, was about Samantha pissing on her dream,
which I fully understand. You know,
it was like, don't make fun of this. Don't sleep with my doorman. That's not the way.
Or my brother. Or whoever else. I know, it's so interesting to think about the juxtaposition of those Samantha and Charlotte.
Yeah, they're opposites.
They're fully opposites, but yet friends. Like that's what I do like about this episode. Like, she's drunk and I'm taking her home.
Yeah, it's sweet, right?
It's so sweet.
Taking care of her, you could write mother.
I know. It's
best
so
friend,
sweet.
Great
it's
girlfriend.
True.
Like, they have like so little in common at this point.
I know.
But the other 2 are gone home.
I know.
And Charlotte's like, I'll let her sleep at my house.
I know. I'm like, come on. It's nice.
I'll let her sleep in my 2-walled house.
Exactly. She's on the couch somewhere that we don't see. Yeah, I know. It's fascinating.
But it's like, just, and actually, when I said that the pilot, the trailer was funny.
Yeah.
One of the images I remember was Samantha going, "Do you have a cigarette?" and
good.
that mink coat opening up.
It's
fur, which would never be allowed now.
Totally, I know. We already talked about fur last episode.
Which she didn't have going on in. She had no coat on going in.
No way.
So I don't know whose fur coat that was. Pat Fields, I guess.
Pat was into the fur, man.
Put a fur on with the bra and panties. Like, don't matter where it came from. And we are so focused on, like, how would this really happen? Pat would be like, shut up, just wear it.
And that was the joy of Pat. She was not literal in any way, shape, or form.
No, when we were doing the Paris episodes, I was in the office and I got a call, come down here. So I went down to the hair
trailer.
I mean, not the makeup and hair trailer. I went down to the costume.
Right.
Anyway, I got a call from Pat, get down here. And I went down to the wardrobe room. And on the middle of, remember you used to have that like round circular couch thing where like people would sit on department stores and put on shoes?
Yes.
There was this conical round thing.
Uh-huh.
And on it was the millefeuille dress that Carrie wears in Paris, that 1,000 layers of dress.
Yes.
She goes, this just came from Paris. It wants to be in the show.
And Did you have to write it in?
No, I said to her, no. How would she get that there?
Right.
Would be like it would be like a whole like 3 trunks just to get that there. And I gave her all the logical reasons why it wouldn't be in there. She says, I'm just saying it wants to be in the show. And I turned, and as I walked across the threshold, I just got hit with reality. And I thought, yeah, it wants to be in the show. And I came back and I said, okay. And that was a lesson I learned, is like sometimes wardrobe is better than logic. And so, they're still talking about Milfoy. It was on tour.
100%.
But reality would have pushed that right out of the window. I was like,
yes.
Maybe it's folded up in that thing.
I know. I went through my own.
Maybe that fur coat came from Charlotte. I don't know.
I mean, who knows? Absolutely. Who knows? And I went through my own, journey with Pat about this. You know what I'm saying? Where I, in the beginning, I was like, I don't know what on earth you're trying to put me in, woman. And she was like, let me. And I was like, no.
Let me. No, you don't even need to finish that sentence. Let me.
And it's such a journey, but also just such a, she's an artist. And I think sometimes you have to just give over.
Do you have a favorite?
A favorite outfit?
Mm-hmm.
I would.
Since we're
the
talking
first
about
thing
stuff.
that comes to my mind is the black swan that I wore to Carrie's wedding.
Oh,
right?
Zach Posen, yeah.
That was good.
No! And in your little feet as
I
you
know,
run around.
couldn't run in that thing.
That was the best. Because it was the comic relief.
100%. But I mean, that's magic. Okay. That's magic. Because that was not my thing was like, Jesus God, this thing is so much work. Because do you remember how long Pat obsessed over what we were going to wear?
Yeah.
I mean, it was a big deal because I don't know if you remember that Sarah did not want to wear beige at Charlotte's wedding.
Oh, the Charlotte's wedding scene when you're all in Vera Wang and you're wearing those beige bridesmaids dresses.
Sarah's still mad about it.
One of the longest days of my life.
I have pictures of Sarah sleeping on the aisles in the church.
It was 1,000 degrees because it was all windows and we were upstairs.
Listen, I was levitating, okay? I was levitating the entire time as though I was a person who wanted to get married and was actually getting married.
Yeah,
nothing negative.
And then
it was a dream.
And then SJ goes and cuts up the Vera Wang dress. She hates it. She didn't want to wear beige so much.
She's literally still mad.
She cut it up and started putting tartan pieces on it because...
No, she was out of her mind.
Because Trey was wearing a kilt.
I know.
I mean, it was so funny.
At one point, she came to me and she was like, I don't understand. And I'm like, but it's Charlotte's wedding. Of course you'd be wearing beige. Mm-hmm. Matching. I mean, I don't understand what you don't understand. She's like, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, cut to her wedding many years later, Carrie's wedding. We were obviously not going to be wearing matching bridesmaids dresses.
No.
But then Pat had so many ideas and so many. I mean, I can't even remember all the designers we went through. And I remember one night I was sitting on my couch, exhausted at home. The phone rings. It might have been midnight. And she's like, black. And I'm like, huh? She's like, you're going to wear black. Are you okay with that? And I'm like, yeah, Pat, if everyone else is okay, I'm okay. And little did I know it was this incredible creation.
Who would put Charlotte in black?
For the wedding? I mean, Carrie would. It was fantastic. That's who would, right?
Yeah, it was fantastic.
It was fantastic.
Black, red, and blue.
Do you remember those stairs? I mean, we're off on the movie now, but those stairs, I did literally think we might die on those stairs.
Sure.
But then do you remember how the crew guys laid on them? In case we fell, do you remember this?
I don't remember
Our
that.
grips. Okay, so we had to run up and down those marble stairs at the public library in the dresses, in the shoes, so many times, Michael Patrick King, because he was directing, okay?
It's beautiful.
Yes, there is no limit.
Next time you see the movie, enjoy all the different shots of
exactly.
that moment.
There's many.
Because if there's
shots.
this, there's close, there's from all over there, and
everywhere.
And everyone got in the movie.
100%.
That's all I have to say.
100%.
It's not on the garbage
you're
floor.
Right. You're right. It's not. It was beautiful, but it was very, very hard. So I can't remember if it was running. No, we don't run up. We run down. Because
you walk up and run down.
Yes, we walk up, which was doable. Not easy, but doable. No. Going down, we were scared. Okay, we were scared. And we had to do it in sections, right? So whatever the camera shot was. Mm-hmm. And we were, quaking a bit, in our heels. Who's going to fall? Who's going to catch the person who falls?
Right.
Because we're all in the shoes and the tight dresses. So our grips laid down on the marble stairs so that if one of us fell, they could break our fall.
How nice.
I mean, literally, when you think about what the crew has gone through for us over the years, I mean, it's incredible.
That's why when anyone shows up on our show or movies and says, these shoes are hard to walk. I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry. You're
You will
saying
not be
that
getting
to
sympathy
them?
from Michael Patrick King.
They wear heels when it's 10 degrees out and we're pretending it's spring. So
100%.
get in line. I will say one other thing about the movie because I don't know if I'll ever be here again.
You
But
will be.
No, anyway, the movie, this is totally for the fans. The movie when Charlotte Poughkeepsie's in her pants from all the
Lord,
pudding.
you have to bring it up.
Kristin was like, I said, Kristin, you've got to do this. It's hilarious. And
I'm dying.
we were on,
dying.
she's dying. And the reality was, in order to get Sarah Jessica, Cynthia, and Kim laughing, and Kristin to really understand the depth of what I wanted, I stood behind the camera. This is going to be tough for sound. And when it was happening, all I did was this. Poo, 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 pow, 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 poo, 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 pow, 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 pow. So when you see Kristin, when I push the camera in and she goes like this, she rolls her eyes and it's like, she's rolling her eyes that I'm still doing it. Poo, 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 pow, 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 poo, poo, poo,
And I'm
poo.
thinking about how I'm going to kill him when we
And
yell,
I said,
cut.
do not break until we're done. And
Oh my God.
and then when we were in post, the sound guy was saying to me, you almost ruined that take. I said, or did I make that take?
Exactly. I don't think you would have gotten it if you hadn't done what you'd done. It's true. I don't know where we were. We were somewhere doing press and I was irritated and you were like, what's wrong? And I was like, oh, I'm still having to talk about Mexico. And you're like, what do you mean? I'm like, the thing you made me do. And you were like, all these years later? I'm like, yes, Michael, this is our lives now. You have to discuss, like, I'll be on vacation somewhere. And some woman at the pool will be like, did you drink the water? And I'll just be like,
Well, right before we film that, I'll give you another Kristin. Here's a very good Kristin and me.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Actor,
God.
director
God.
dynamic. We were about to do the naked shower scene.
oh, Jesus.
And
I can't believe you're
we
bringing
had
this up.
put decals. We measured your height. We put decals across the logo of the hotel so that they would block your nipple, and everything else was great because everybody was ready to do that movie. Everybody looked great, and we're doing it, and we're getting ready to do it.
Oh, no.
And you come up to me. And you
so scared
and
about the face.
I said, so you're ready? She goes, you keep coming at me with those big eyes. And I was like, guilty? Guilty? My big eyes.
You wanted something.
I didn't. You
You
just said
did. You
it
wanted-
was your internal
You don't remember
nerves.
that you were like, it would be great if we could see your butt.
Oh, okay.
Remember?
I edited out that part.
He
but
did.
you did
He
say.
did have
and
something in his mind.
I did see your lovely
Right, but you wanted
derriere.
more. You wanted more.
No, I don't think so.
You did.
Why would I?
Because you're you.
But
And
literally,
you always want more.
you keep coming at me with those big eyes. I think about that all the time.
That's so funny.
Yeah, because sometimes, you're like, let's go again. I thought, I'm probably doing the big eyes right now. The Charlotte big eyes.
That's adorable. Oh, I wanted to say my very first, very clear memory of you.
Uh-huh.
It's not that different than that.
Okay.
We're at the
Delightful.
We're at
My brand.
The reservoir in Central Park.
Yeah.
It's Sin, Sarah, and I, and we're going to gossip to get our heart rates up, which the Dumois still uses. The gossip people lady, she's very nice. Sorry, I don't know if she calls herself gossip or not. I don't know. Anyway, you remember that?
This
it's so
is totally
cute.
over my head.
Is it?
I remember the scene.
It's
yeah.
social media. I'm talking about social media for a
Okay.
second. Sorry. There's a very popular.
I'd like to go on the record that not being on social media is fresh. That's what I'm leaving. I'm leaving everybody listening on social media. It's so fresh for me. I'm glad you're there.
Luckily, podcasts are on a different thing.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Because they're intellectual. Poo, 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 pow, pow, pow.
That was so Michael. So we're there, and I'm sure that you had been very much involved before, but I was in my weird days at the beginning of being overwhelmed pretty much at all times, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's how I felt. I don't know.
I know,
That's
I
how
understand.
felt. Yeah, it was a lot. In the
Okay, I
beginning.
can't
it was
wait
a
to
lot.
hear this. I'm
So
on the
we're
edge
there.
of my couch.
We're doing our thing, right? And Mark Feuerstein, remember him?
Yes, I've loved him.
Yes, me too. I love him too. And we were a little bit mean to him that day. And we were mean to him. Backstory, we probably should have him on in the future. But we were in the trailer. We were running our lines like we do so that we could be on it when we got out there for you, right?
Yeah.
And he comes in and we were like, hey, do you want to run lines with us? And the guys never knew how to be, right? Because they were like the guest star girls. You know what I'm saying? They were like the date, right?
Yeah.
So he comes in and we say like, hey, you want to run lines with us? And he's like, I don't really know him. And we're like, you better get on that because we're going to go out there and they're going to really expect us like snappy. And he's like, oh, really? Like, you mean like learn the literal lines? And we're like, yes. And then we kind of look at each other like, oh no, because how there's people in TV.
Sure, they think it's a suggestion.
Exactly.
It's fine in drama.
Exactly. It's not where we live, you know, at all. And that became very true when you came, because in the pilot there was the one ad lib scene that ever took place where they told us to fill in our things we felt most insecure about when we were talking about the models. Sorry, that's the second episode, not the pilot. So like I talk about my thighs, Sarah touches her nose.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because Darren didn't want to write.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, which was very kind.
Yeah.
But then things went sideways. You can't ask us to ad lib. It's you don't want to do it.
I don't know about that, but go ahead.
Well, we just go. Anyway, so we're there. Mark's there. He's like, oh, okay, I'll try to learn my lines. And we're like, we look at each other like, oh God, So then we were a little bit mean, apparently, like the vibe. And then he seemed very shut down because there's three of us being
on this show that no one even knows about. What's their attitude? This isn't like it's a hit.
Exactly
This
right.
is on the wrestling channel.
Exactly right. I tried to explain that to them.
This
like
is
the
nothing.
boxing, right? So then we go out there and we're doing our thing, and we're stretching, we're trying to whatever. And I had a line, and I can't remember the line exactly. I haven't rewatched this one yet, but it's like a line with a comma and then a second, one section, then comma and a second. And there was an if and there was a but. And I flip them. I do this. Sometimes with Charlotte's syntax, it still happens, right? It's sometimes a struggle. And you come up to me and you're very intense.
With my big eyes.
And your big eyes. And you're like, no. And I'm like, no. And you're like, do not flip those words. It's not funny that way. And I was like, okay.
What a monster.
Oh my God. No, I was like, oh my God, this one's scary. This one's so scary. He's very precise. So... So I look at the girls and they're like, yeah, do it. So I'm like, okay, got it. And then of course, now that I'm like, it's like once they point something out, then you can't do it. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, oh God, I've got to please this new guy.
Unfortunately, in this scenario, I'm they. But go ahead. Go back to how this isn't going to be bad for me.
No, it's not bad for you at all, because that was just the first memory. And now here we are 20 million, 100 years later. Yeah. And you were right.
I was right.
But
I also want to put into the world that maybe your performance of me is through your magnified shame spiral of the season one. And maybe I was direct.
You were very direct.
I don't think I screamed.
No, you're just intense.
Intense.
You're just intense when you care about something.
Quietly intense.
And listen, if you didn't care, we wouldn't be here.
Here's my growth.
Tell me.
I go on and just like that, when there's a guest director, they're like, she didn't say it right. I'm like, But it's not exactly a big joke.
Right.
It's like a sentence.
Right.
And look at what they're doing and feel what they're feeling. And then don't maybe go in again and ask them to do a different line reading.
I appreciate that so much.
Well, yeah, because at this point, who's the horse and who's the cart?
This is true.
At this point,
it's
you guys are leading, I'm leading with the writing, you're following, I'm following you.
I think we're
you're
one.
Following you. I think we're one.
Really what we're saying.
I think we're one.
Yes,
I mean, yeah, the first episode I directed, I gave that whole horse storyline to you because I knew you loved animals so much. I thought this will be really wonderful for Charlotte.
What a great storyline.
Yeah, it was great.
Magical to think about. Magical to think about.
I think that people are going to be, we talked about like all the decisions that we made on And Just Like That for Miranda.
Yeah.
To be like so outside what they want.
Yes.
I think they'll be very pleased with Miranda, the third season of And Just Like That.
I love Miranda, the third season. I mean, I love Miranda the whole time.
I loved her the second. I loved her the first. Everything
Me
gets
too.
broken and gets put back together.
I mean, I thought it was very brave.
And I think you're fantastic this season as well.
I'm so scared to watch.
Oh, you shouldn't. I've seen them all.
Always so scared.
It's so nice. You're so lovely as an actor and so
Thanks, babe.
Adorable. And I will tell you, I've told other people this, but I've never told you this.
Uh-oh.
In And Just Like That, every day when you show up, you look at me and say, how are you?
Oh.
Very few people do that. How are you? And I think that says a lot about who you are. How are you? And then I say, I'm great. Now hold the fake penis. No, I mean, it means a lot because
fall down.
I think that fall down. Yeah. Fall down.
I can't wait.
Kristin does a lot of her own stunts this year.
I do.
Really good.
She gave me a stunt hat. I have a hat now. I'm an official stunt woman.
Jen, the stunt lady. Yeah. Kristin did a lot of physical stuff this year that was complicated, and she had to discover how to do it. It could go too big or too little, and you hit it just right, especially with the I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I think, and just like that is this season is going to be a kind of, it's a summer show.
Yeah.
It's coming out in the summer. It feels like the summer. It feels like the darkness that we had deliberately by design put in season 1 of And Just Like That has given way to the light and the emotions that people are sort of needing or looking to right now.
Yeah.
And it's the most beautiful season.
How exciting.
It's the most beautiful. I think there's more New York in Just Like That season 3 than there's been in maybe the entire
I felt that way.
series.
I felt like we were out and it was glorious. It was so glorious.
It's everywhere. We were everywhere from the Met to every
Botanic
restaurant.
Garden.
Botanical Gardens.
mean,
Oh my God.
yeah.
So speaking of the Botanical Gardens, you're really special in this season.
Yay. I can't
always.
wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. I'm always scared and excited to watch.
Yeah. Well, you're thrilling.
Thank you, baby. Do you think I want to have Sarita and Nicole on?
Yeah, they're great.
I want to hear about their perspective of like the show that used to be and watching.
Yeah,
and then coming.
Remember Sarita, who plays Seema on Just Like That, had that first scene where she was at the bar with you and Cynthia and SJ. And I went up to her after the first take and she said, I'm not even here.
Aww.
She said, I'm in Sex and the City. I don't know how to be here. I don't know what is happening right now.
But she covers so beautifully. You would never know.
Never know. But
she's like so
people,
together.
I think that's one of the things we always have to factor in.
Yeah.
From the time we did Sex and the City, when it started to become kind of a thing, a big thing around the world.
Yeah.
When people join, you have to let them have a moment. Their altitude they have like altitude sickness. Like they can't believe they're in the thing that they watched.
Also, I think it's the thing that they watch, but I also feel, and this is just from being on other sets in the world, we have a vibe. We have like a energy, like a thing. And I think some of it is because of what you kind of facilitated and mentored as for the writers, because our writers became, so included, all of them.
Their stories.
Yeah, it's their stories, absolutely.
When we did Sex and the City, all 6 of us were single. And all 6 of us were lepers.
And all of you brought stories that they all thought were our stories, but luckily they were not. They were the writers' stories, thank God. But you were with us every day. Like it was such a group, a powerful, powerful group, feeling like we were in it together. And yes, we were on camera, but you guys were holding us up off camera.
Yeah.
You were writing beautifully for us. You were directing us. You were always there for us if we needed you. Like if I had a director like that time, that one director thought that I would think it was sexy that the sweat fell on the divorce papers. And I was like, no, she does not think that's sexy. She somehow likes him for like, besides that, you know what I mean? And he's like, no, that turns you on. And I'm like, no, it does not turn me on. And I was like, where's Michael Patrick King? They were like, he's upstairs. I was like, Michael Patrick King, I need some help down here. And there you are. You know what I mean? Like you need backup in what we do.
It's ours.
Yeah. And it's ours.
People are visiting and it's our house.
Right. But you created that for us. You empowered us to take that ownership and to invest ourselves fully. Fully, like not only did you create it, I think you expected it, but you also led by doing that yourself.
Yeah.
Like there's not a detail that you are not fully invested in.
Right.
And involved in, and sometimes, yes, costume can be like, Michael Patrick doesn't like it, but this is how we create what we create.
Yeah.
Everyone's invested.
Sure.
And that was you leading, and Sarah Jessica, being so invested in everything as well, right?
Yeah.
Like, no banana clips. You know what I mean? Like,
I can't see a banana clip without thinking of banana clip.
Right?
We even wrote Scrunchy because it was like, we wrote the episode where she's like, they break up over a scrunchie.
I know, it's hysterical, but this was true.
Everything is everybody that worked on it. And then it's kind of curated to be something that hopefully people at home can be on the journey with, or be delighted by, or be heartbroken by, or be furious at for a week. We know what we're doing. If you're mad at it, that's on purpose. That's by design. Wait and see what happens the next week. And what I love about the Sex and the City start was it was week to week to week to week to week. And we even actually started that with And Just Like That again. It was week to week to week to week, and it builds. And now on Netflix, you have people, somebody just told me that their 20-year-old daughter somebody came over and said, "What are we doing tonight?" And she said, "No, we're watching the season 2 finale again."
Oh.
And she's 20.
Adorable. My friends' kids are watching it. It's very bizarre.
I would say that it doesn't feel stale.
Which is amazing.
It's well made, and it's fortunately for us, unfortunately for civilization, there's still a need for women to be held up as individuals in society. At whatever age, they still have to fight for the individual sense of who they are, because society wants them to be other things still, from the current politics to the emotional vibes still in the world. So it's really thrilling that we got to participate in this map.
Yeah.
This emotional map.
Yeah. And we still are.
For people who watch the show.
Absolutely.
This is a map that these 4 went down, or these 5 now, or these 7 last year.
Right.
Where are you on your map?
Absolutely. And it's such a joy.
And it's a joy to have been in your personal life for so many years.
I know we have lived a life, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
We have. Do you remember when we went horseback riding in Nevis in the water?
Yeah.
We could go on.
I do.
I mean, Morocco, it's just
I
incredible.
remember when we were filming in the Sahara Desert, and we were in a hotel, in quotes, that was in the middle of the desert.
The Sahara Desert.
In order to drive in, you had to go through under 2 papier-mâché camels.
It's so true. And it was like over the...
And
I had my coffee.
One night, and somebody had said to us, "This is a vortex of energy."
And
the
boy,
Sahara
was
Desert.
it.
And I said to Kristin, how did you sleep last night? She said, "I didn't. I don't know what's happening. I was on the roof.
I was
walking in circles under the stars in the Sahara Desert.
It was incredible.
Very sensitive. She was totally connected to the
out.
vortex.
Okay, people, I was whacked out. He's being
walking all night long on the roof.
It's 100% true.
The canopy of stars in the middle of the Sahara Desert.
The Milky Way, literally the entire Milky Way. But we had a very big day of work the next day. So maybe not the best, but I couldn't sleep. You know, I can never sleep, right? It's like my situation. But I mean, everything turned out fine. But poor Michael had to be tortured by me the next day by torrential tears. And I'm very sorry.
Oh, I love that story. I love that story. We had dunes that couldn't be walked on, because they would look ruined
by the crew.
So we had to, we scoured the dunes with this giant chain, all these New Zealand crew members, so that it would look pristine. And Kristin was at the top of the dune on a camel. And I'm way down at the bottom of the dune, watching her fall off a camel.
With the walkie-talkie, right?
Sahara Desert, 1,000 degrees.
Yep.
She's falling off the camel into stunt guy's arms.
And the stunt guys don't speak English.
No, putting her back on the camel, falling off the camel, back on the camel, falling off the camel, back on the thing, turn the camera around, fall on the blanket, fall on the ground.
Fall on the mattress.
Okay, so she finally accomplishes the impossible. And I now know the scene's done. So I start up, I leave my headphones. I know, I'm surprised you remember this.
I remember
It's significant to me. I start up the dune towards you, and you're coming down the dune. Big puffs of sand on your feet, trudging down the dune on fire.
I'm very
And you're
mad.
like, you never came up. You never told me I was doing a good job. You just kept saying stuff. And she just burst into tears. And I said, I'm sorry you were perfect. And I couldn't get.
I was hysterical,
and she just
you guys.
walked away. And the New Zealand crew said, I can't believe you let them talk to you like that. And I said, they're actors, not bankers.
Oh,
And if you would never put the camera on a banker,
wow.
these emotions have to be there. But I was just like, that is what's needed to get that. And you just have to realize but I was really, boom!
I know.
The only water scene in the Sahara Desert in the last 50 years was from your eyes.
It's so true. It's so true. Because I was up there and I just thought he wasn't happy, right? Because I couldn't see him.
Yeah.
That's part of the problem.
This is not the sound of happiness.
No.
Go again. Go again.
So I thought he wasn't happy, right? So I'd done it like 80 million times.
Yeah.
And it was scary, okay? Because
Falling off a camel.
Yeah, because the camel's really tall. You don't realize how tall the camels are. Sidhu was his name. Cynthia was not pleased to be on that camel.
Do it again.
Sidhu it again. Good one.
His name should have been Do it again.
Yeah, we did it so many times. Cynthia was cranky as all get out.
It's 1,000 degrees.
And on a camel, it was very unusual,
in that
okay?
crazy couture craziness, leather
insanity.
And hats. And,
yeah.
And
I got that thing
bustiers.
upstairs that she made for me, the coat of many colors. It was like Joseph's coat of many colors. I don't know. Do you remember? Do you remember when we had to walk over the dune?
Yeah, and you had to squat down.
So he could see our heads. He's on the other side. Again, you have to brush the thing, right? So we had to bend down like in a chair position, but we're in our heels, in the Sahara Desert, which was like...
I could see their heads.
Insane, right?
And so I kept screaming, get lower. And they're literally squatting, and then they have to stand up and pretend like they just
And
weren't.
he'd be like, glamorous. And we'd be like, what? I mean, and then I remember one time, Pat, so we're in the crazy outfits, right? And we're hiding behind the dune in a squat, trying to like glamorously rise up and, traverse the sand dune in the heels. And, we're getting ready to go and they've brushed the sand. Everything's perfect. We're waiting. We're looking at each other like, what do we do? And then all of a sudden Pat's like, stop. And Molly's got like 2 racks of belts. And the 2 of them trudge through the freshly brushed sand because she doesn't like my belt. We're all like, who's she mad at? Where's she coming for?
Whose costume's taking a hit?
She didn't like my belt. So 2 racks of belts come across the dune. And she's like, and we're just like, oh, Jesus, God, Michael's going to lose his mind. You know what I mean? But she fixes the belt and then we have to do it. And we pulled it off.
Yeah,
I don't know how,
it's unlike any other experience any actor will ever have being on this show.
100%.
It's 100%.
And it's not over.
No.
We love you, Michael Patrick King.
I am delighted to be here. Are you a Charlotte? The answer is yes. And you're also everyone else.
But what about you?
I am definitely Carrie.
Yeah.
And Miranda.
Yeah.
And when I was single, I was Samantha.
Yeah.
And I think that I might be closer to the new Charlotte.
Yeah. Because you do caretake.
Yeah. I mean, it was the one I was furthest from.
Of course.
Which is so interesting is how close we got.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, that's the journey, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
We love you.
Love
so
you too.
Much.
Oh, kisses. Mwah.